Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the FANG stocks. We're going to take a look at a few more technology stocks and some semiconductor stocks. So yeah, this is going to take a look at the stocks that have really been on a big run, and Facebook here has been on fire. It's above 50 on our side now. It's at 55. Notice it's formed multiple gap up opens in a row. And so now today with today's gap, it has formed a bearish 3 gap ups reversal pattern. So yeah, keep in mind it's just a signal that the chart is getting frothy. Fasto is at 95. After the multiple gap ups, it's a signal that, just to keep a lookout for the chart cooling down. Yeah, it's currently hitting this closing price here on the 6th of February. That'll be the next key level to break. As long as the middle Bollinger Band in that 50-day simple moving average hold down at 187.75, the uptrend should continue. If you see it break above this level, you're looking for a retrace like the other stocks in the sector that have made a retrace back up to their former highs, which is 193. So yeah, we'll see if it can bust through this 185 resistance zone. If it can get above, that would be bullish. If it fails to break, the middle Bollinger Band and 50-day simple moving average, that 181 support zone will be the key level to hold. Okay, let's look at Amazon. Amazon is breaking out higher. It's been on a big multi-day run. It's currently on a 5-day run right now, pushing higher above EMA4. When the candles are forming above EMA4 and you're a swing trader, the signal is to keep riding. Yeah, but this is hitting all-time high levels. It broke out above the double top level and kept pushing higher. And so you'll know the chart's cooling down when EMA4 at 1498 support breaks. As long as it's holding, the signal, like I said, is to keep riding. It's just it's getting frothy here. You have RSI is at 69, so it's still not at this 90 level. But you do have Fasto at 99, so it is hitting that temporarily overbought level. Okay, so let's look at Amazon on the weekly chart. So you can see here on the weekly chart, it's pushing hard. They use that dip to load here, and it loaded off that EMA 13. The candles are pushing above EMA4. It's breaking out this week above the previous high, and so yeah, this is a huge move. There is a slight gap between the previous high and the current level, very small, it looks like, but yeah, so as long as EMA4 currently at 1469 is holding on the weekly chart, and you're a longer term swing trader, the signal is to keep riding. It's paid just to keep riding with EMA4 support holding. Once it closed below here, but it got right back above. The chart is still super bullish. I mean, Amazon just keeps pushing higher. Okay, now take a look at Apple. So Apple is hitting it hit the double top level and it closed above that today. So the closing price here in January was the key level to break. Today's close was above that level. So if it can turn it into support, that'll signal it wants to break out higher. This is hitting making hitting the all-time high and new highs as well, and it's breaking out to frothy levels here. It does have RSI at 64, so it's still below 70, below the overbought level. Fasto is at 98. This could push out and keep breaking higher if it can turn that 178 level into support. If you see it drop below 178, that could signal that this level is turning into resistance and could be a double top. 175.41 EMA4. As long as it's holding, the signal is just to keep riding. This was a really sharp V-shaped recovery, and so it'll be interesting to see if it can bust out higher. If you look on the weekly chart here, you can see it's back here at the all-time high level, from January, and so you're looking for a weekly close above that level, that 177.50 level, and so right now it's hitting all-time high resistance, and then it's just blue sky breakout after that. So either it's going to double top at this level, or it's going to break out above that 79 180 level, and it's going to be a blue sky breakout. Notice there is a PSAR bull flip this week. The declining volume pattern, is interesting. It's trying to push to new highs with declining volume. So keep an eye out for a volume spike. Depending on how the Fed meeting goes tomorrow, we could get that red volume spike. And then the same thing with Amazon. Notice the declining volume pattern on the weekly chart. So that's like bearish divergence. You'd like to see loading on the way up, similar to these candles. Loading. Buyers are tiring as the share price gets higher. So usually that is a red flag. Okay, so we'll see what happens this week. And then let's look at Netflix. So Netflix is back above 70 on RSI. Fasto's up at 97. You have a bullish crossover here in ADX. And so this broke out above high close horizontal resistance on Friday. And so similar to what I was talking about with Apple here. So Apple closed above resistance. That's the move that Netflix made on Friday. It needed to close above this level. That happened on Friday, and then it followed through and broke out higher. So if you're trading Apple, that's what you want to see. Now that it closed above resistance, you want to see it push higher, just like Netflix. And so Netflix is the same as the other plays. It pays just to keep riding if the candles are forming above the pink line, EMA4. So long as 286.25's holding, that signals to keep riding. If it drops below, then that's where you could see some consolidation. It needs to hold the 285 level. That was the double top breakout level. You don't want to see, with Amazon, any of the stocks that are breaking out above the double top level, you don't want to see them pull back in below the double top level. Okay, that would be a red flag. You want to see that level turn into support. Now look at Netflix on the weekly chart. So you can see here too, notice the declining volume pattern. So I think that's a red flag. The share price is heading higher and the buyers are tiring. We'll see if it cools down or it's so interesting here with the Fed speaking tomorrow, whether or not it's going to break out higher or we're going to top out. It was a V-shaped recovery here. You're looking at the weekly chart and you would hardly know that there was this big shakeout here in the first week of February. And so this big 2-day drop, the big thing in February with that huge pullback, basically it recovered quickly and now it's out to all new time highs. Netflix is on a blue sky breakout. It's just pushing to new high levels. And so when that's happening, you just an easy way to trade it is just if this pink line's holding EMA4 at 280.28, the signal is to keep on riding. If you're a longer term swing trader, then you can work it off the weekly chart. It just pays just to keep riding. When support's holding, the pull back though to EMA4, that would be a 14 point drop there. Let's look at Google. Google is making a very sweet move as well. Notice that RSI is just at 59, so it's still well below overbought levels. There's a lot of juice still in the tank, even though Fasto is signaling temporarily overbought. Notice the bullish crossover here on ADX, the green line crossing the red line, and so this had a really nice close today. It's been on a super strong trajectory here. Notice how it's just shooting straight up. This is the V-shaped recovery like Apple. They loaded heavy off the bottom and then just bam, they've just been taking it up on a steep stair climb. And so basically 1125.63, you want to see that level keep holding. As long as it's holding, the signal just keep riding. Right now it's trying to fill this gap. This is the bottom of the gap, the top of this candle where the green line is, and the bottom of the gap is up here at 1170. And so bulls are looking for a gap fill back up to 1170. You get above that and you've got that 1190 resistance zone, the all-time high. And so if it drops back down below 1130, well, that's going to be the red flag. You want to see the bottom of the gap turn into support. So right now Google is a gap fill play. Okay, let's look at Intel. Intel is once again, it's only at 64 on RSI, because they were beaten up so bad. RSI got pretty low, and you got once again 99 on Fasto. If you get a close near high of day, it's going to be up there near 99. A high of day close will push that Fasto up to 100, so this is on a 2-day run, and so notice that it has the double top level coming up at 49.75. That's also lining up with that upper Bollinger Band at 49.56, and so it's going to be a big resistance zone. Can it get past 49.50 to 49.75. Close above 49.75 would be really bullish. You'd be looking at this high here at 50.50 as the next level. So this is going to be crucial. You could see a temporary top if it fails to break resistance here. There is a gap below between high of day on Friday and low of day today, and so a pullback to 47.75 would fill that gap. You know, it could pull back like these two candles here and test EMA4 support and hold it and fill that gap and still keep that uptrend going. So keep that in mind. And then let's look at Twitter here. So Twitter has been consolidating. You know, it came up and it made that high, and then it retested it. You know, made this double top action, it looks like to me. Yeah, so it's got the double top, and then it's been pulling back. You know, you've got the close down here, which is lined up with the middle Bollinger Band, and so that's the big support level down at 30. And so the candles right now are riding EMA4 resistance lower, so it's in downtrend mode right now. And so if it closes above EMA4 at 32.47, that would be a signal it's heating up again. If it keeps failing to break above that pink line with the close above, it's going to keep heading lower. Today it closed back below EMA8 at 32.26 or 32.16, and then you've got the next one on deck is the EMA 13 here at 31.45. If that breaks, you're looking at a drop down to 30. Okay, so let's say it holds EMA 8 here. What you want to see is a break above this 34 resistance zone. Okay, yeah, the high close though is the top of the most recent white candle here, which is just about you know, just below 34, but between 33.50 and 34, that's the big resistance zone. If you see Twitter above that, that's going to be the big breakout signal. Now, if it fails to, if 32 turns into resistance, you could see a drop down to 30. Okay, look at Snap. Snap had a big pullback. So this is the opposite of what the other, you know, the leaders of the pack have been doing. Well, Snap is the opposite. It had the double top. So it double topped and pulled back. It didn't break out above resistance. You know, it came down, hit resistance, and failed to break. You know, when you have Amazon, you know, it came down, hit resistance, and broke out higher. You know, so you had the same thing with Netflix. It came down, hit that, broke out higher. But the you know, the bearish thing with Snap is it came down. It didn't even hit the previous level. That was a red flag. The high of day did, and it pulled back. And you know, so that it double topped. And so now it's on a 5-day pullback. And so, you know, for bounce players, this looks interesting. It's hitting the key support level, the middle Bollinger Band here at 17.06. So if 17 holds, this is where it should bounce. This is the top of the gap. There's a gap between high of day on this candle on the 6th of February, at the top of this wick, and then low of day on the 7th. There's this huge gap on the chart, a big space between these two candles. And so if 17 breaks, it could really get going to the downside. You know, you could see the 250-day simple moving averages tested down at that 1550 support zone. You know, a drop all the way down to 1425 would fill the gap. I'm not saying it's going to fill the gap, but I am saying major downside risk of 17 breaks. If 17 support holds, that's where you would see the technical bounce. And then if it gets above 18, that's where it could get moving again. Okay, so keep an eye on Snap. It looks interesting here with the technical setup. Yeah, and then NVDA. So this is another one that's hitting the double top level. So you know, it made a top in January, came down when the markets crashed, and then it came back up and it hit the double top level. It did close above on the 20th. So this was the candle to break right here on the 29th of January, and it hit that level here and failed to break, and then finally it did close above on the 20th. And many times when it closes above, that signals it wants to push higher, but it pulled back on that red candle. It's still holding EMA4. This one's struggling though to get above resistance. So it's 250. To make it easy, if NVDA is trading above 250, you know that should be a signal. Yeah, it's breaking out higher. It's making that blue sky breakout mode. Now, if it fails to get above that level and then 245 support breaks EMA4, that's going to be the red flag. You could see consolidation and a retest of that middle Bollinger Band at 237. Right now, it's having a struggle. It's struggling with the double top. You know, it's a red flag that it hasn't been able to push through. And then now we could have a down day on Tuesday. And you know, that could put pressure on all the stocks that I'm showing right now, because yeah, depending on how that Fed meeting goes, how the markets react to what the Fed says. The stock market could be down. There's a little bit of pressure right now in futures trading. AMD here is at had a nice move above 50 on RSI, so the chart's heating up. If you look here, it closed above the 300-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average today. That's this red and blue line, and so that was a really bullish close. It also closed above the dotted purple line, which is the middle Bollinger Band, and above high close horizontal resistance, which was the top of this candle. There's a lot of lines here. This was a major resistance zone. Okay, so all the moving averages are converged in this zone between basically 1178 and 1234. So it's very tight here, where you have all the moving averages on the chart all converge at the same zone. And so at 1234 is the top level, which is the blue line, which is the 300-day simple moving average. If that level turns into support, then the chart is maximum bullishness again, right? It's trading above all the moving averages. That's what happened over here on this candle on the 18th, and then it had a nice run. And so that's what you're looking for if you're a bull. That level to turn to support, stay above 1234, and then it could run back up and try to do that double top thing. There is a gap here between the second and the third, and so the bottom of the gap is just above 13. A gap fill would be at 1320. Notice the ascending support line. It basically right now it has to stay above the 300-day simple moving average. That makes it really easy. If it pulls back below, that'll signal consolidation and temporary top. Notice it's been in a sideways channel. So you could get stuck holding sideways if it pulls back below that 1230 level. Notice there was a PSAR bull flip today, and then MACD starting that bullish crossover on the 1226 and 9, and then finally MU. MU has been super strong as well. Man, technology has just been super hot. Our RSI is just at 65. It's not even up here to the into the power zone yet. It does have Fasto at 97. You got the big breakout on plus DI. It's just been super strong. It kept breaking above resistance, which was great to see. It broke above resistance on these candles, and then today the big thing was the break above the January high close. So this was the highest closing price for MU in the entire in 2018, and you have to go all the way back here into November to find the last time it's been at these levels. And so yeah, this is going to be this is a crucial zone for MU. As you can see, it's hitting the November resistance level here at 48, and then the big level is that high close just at about 50. And so break above 48, and it could go to 50. It could top out here at 48. It's pushing above the upper Bollinger Band. It's just all about staying above that EMA4 at 46.28. Ever since it got above that level on the 12th here, down here on the 12th, that was the signal was just to keep riding, and it just paid if you just stayed long on this trade. You could have been long for the last couple of weeks, and it was a big moneymaker. All right, so we'll see now if it's going to break that 48 resistance zone to test 50. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. Just be sure to be on it tomorrow with the Fed meeting. Please check out our chat, and I'll post the link below the YouTube video. Okay, thank you.